The FIFA World Cup is the pinnacle of international football, captivating fans around the globe with its spectacle of skill, passion, and drama. For Premier League teams, the tournament's winter timing presented a unique challenge, causing frustration and temporary disruptions to the season. While many managers were concerned about the well-being of their players competing in Qatar, some club owners may have had their sights set on more than just the games themselves. Behind the scenes, financial considerations played a significant role, with clubs eyeing the potential rewards that came with their players' involvement in the World Cup. The history of the World Cup is peppered with instances of players succumbing to injuries during the tournament. Managers and fans alike hold their breath, praying for the safe return of their stars. The risk of injuries and the subsequent impact on the domestic league campaign are valid concerns that cast a shadow over the excitement of the World Cup. However, for club owners, there is another side to the equation. The longer a player stays in the tournament, the greater the financial benefits for the club. FIFA, the international governing body for football, introduced the Club Benefits Program to recognize the crucial role played by clubs in facilitating the staging of the World Cup. This program includes compensation not only for the club that releases a player for the tournament, but also for any club the player has represented in the 2 years leading up to the World Cup. It is a financial acknowledgement of the contributions made by clubs worldwide in nurturing and developing players who go on to represent their national teams on the grandest stage of all. The specifics of the Club Benefits Program were recently outlined in a comprehensive report published by FIFA. According to the organization's official website, FIFA distributed a staggering $209 million, £160.9 million, among all 6 football confederations as compensation for the involvement of their players in the World Cup. This substantial amount was then divided among 440 clubs, benefiting a total of 837 players. The financial arrangement is straightforward. Clubs receive a fixed payment of $10,950, £8,429, for every day that their players spend at the World Cup. Remarkably, this compensation is not dependent on the players' playing time or their performance on the field. Whether a player starts every game and excels or spends the tournament warming the bench, the club's financial reward remains the same. Unsurprisingly, European clubs, with their rich footballing heritage and talent pools, accounted for the largest share of the compensation distributed by FIFA. According to the report, European clubs received an impressive $158.90 million, £122.32 million, representing a significant portion of the total amount. In stark contrast, the Asian Football Confederation, despite having a sizable population and a growing footballing landscape, received a modest sum of $23.78 million, £18.31 million. Within Europe, it was English clubs that emerged as the primary beneficiaries of FIFA's Club Benefits Program. Premier League clubs received a staggering $37.70 million, £29.03 million, the highest among their European counterparts. The financial windfall was not limited to the traditional footballing powerhouses of Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Even clubs such as Tottenham Hotspur, who have been consistently challenging for top honors in recent years, reaped significant rewards. The World Cup compensation figures provide a fascinating glimpse into the financial landscape of the Premier League. Among the top-flight clubs, Manchester City stood out as the biggest beneficiaries by a considerable margin. With 16 players representing their respective nations in Qatar, Manchester City's coffers swelled by $4.60 million, £3.54 million. The club's rich squad depth and global appeal meant that a significant portion of their first-team squad was involved in the World Cup, resulting in substantial financial gains. Hot on the heels of Manchester City were their perennial rivals, Chelsea and Manchester United, both of whom received $3.30 million, £2.51 million, in compensation. These clubs boast deep squads with players from various national teams, ensuring their presence and influence in the World Cup. The financial windfall further strengthens their position as powerhouses in the domestic and international transfer markets. Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool were also among the clubs that reaped considerable rewards from their players' involvement in the World Cup. With $2.80 million, £2.18 million, and $2.40 million, £1.86 million, respectively, these clubs enjoyed a significant injection of funds. The World Cup not only provides a platform for players to showcase their talents on the world stage, but also serves as a lucrative opportunity for clubs to benefit financially. While the financial rewards were substantial for some Premier League clubs, others did not fare as well. Bournemouth, for instance, had only two players, Kiefer Moore and Chris Mepham, representing Wales in Qatar. Consequently, their compensation amounted to a relatively meager $0.38 million, £0.30 million. Southampton and Nottingham Forest, two other English clubs, also received modest profits of $0.52 million, £0.40 million, and $0.58 million, £0.45 million, respectively. The distribution of funds across the confederations within Europe also revealed interesting patterns. The report disclosed that the majority of the compensation went to clubs in England, Spain, Germany, Italy, and France, the traditional footballing powerhouses of the continent. These nations have a long history of nurturing top-class players who eventually grace the World Cup stage, thus justifying their higher financial returns. English clubs led the way with their impressive $37.70 million, £29.03 million, haul. The popularity and financial might of the Premier League, coupled with its ability to attract top talents from around the world, undoubtedly contributed to its commanding position in the distribution of funds. Spanish clubs followed closely behind, receiving $24.40 million, £18.78 million, showcasing the depth of talent in La Liga. German clubs were not far behind, securing $21 million, £16.17 million, in compensation. The Bundesliga's reputation for developing and promoting young players was evident in a number of German talents featuring prominently in the World Cup. Although Italy failed to qualify for the tournament, their club still received a respectable sum of $18.70 million, £14.40 million, highlighting the enduring quality of Italian football. In contrast, French clubs received $16.60 million, £12.78 million, reflecting the immense talent and success of French football in recent years. The country's triumph in the 2018 World Cup undoubtedly played a role in cementing its position among the top 5 beneficiaries in the club benefits program. The financial rewards received by French clubs further affirm the nation's status as a footballing powerhouse. The World Cup compensation figures paint a vivid picture of the financial landscape in European football and, specifically, the Premier League. While the tournament provides an opportunity for players to represent their nations and compete for glory, it also acts as a lucrative venture for clubs. The financial rewards that come with players' involvement in the World Cup have a significant impact on club finances, bolstering their abilities to compete domestically and internationally. The club benefits program introduced by FIFA has become an integral part of the football ecosystem, acknowledging the vital role played by clubs in nurturing and developing players. The substantial sums distributed by FIFA provide much-needed financial stability and resources to clubs across the globe. For Premier League teams, the World Cup compensation has the potential to tip the scales in their favor, enabling them to secure top talent, invest in state-of-the-art facilities, and maintain their competitiveness at home and abroad. As the world eagerly awaits the next edition of the FIFA World Cup, club owners, managers, and fans will once again witness the delicate balance between national pride and financial gain. The winter timing of the tournament may continue to present challenges, disrupting domestic league campaigns and causing frustration among clubs. However, the allure of the World Cup and the potential financial windfall it brings will undoubtedly keep clubs invested in the success of their players on the international stage. In conclusion, the FIFA World Cup is not only a celebration of football but also a financial opportunity for clubs. The Club Benefits Program introduced by FIFA recognizes the contributions made by clubs in nurturing players who go on to represent their nations at the tournament. The substantial financial rewards received by clubs provide stability, resources, and the ability to compete at the highest levels. While the World Cup's winter timing may have caused frustrations in the Premier League, the financial implications have added an intriguing dimension to the tournament. As the footballing world eagerly awaits the next edition of the World Cup, the delicate balance between national pride and financial gain will continue to shape the landscape of the game.